One.
Surprise!
Surprise! Woo! Oh yeah. You say, Bob?
Hey, Mom and Pop, come on up here for a minute. You're going to get a chance to say hello to everyone in a minute, but we want you up here. We're going to let you mingle.
My.
Did you know about this? I heard that already.
Okay, Mom, now. She's already spotted the beer. Come over here, Tim. As you can tell, they were slightly surprised by this. Stand over here for a minute. We're going to give you both a chance to go around. This is an equity deal. We're going to give you a chance to go around and say hello to everyone, but we wanted to start off this thing with something special. So we want to do a little bit of This Is Your Life, Bob and Eva. Luckily, I didn't have much time to prepare this. So I wrote it all on one piece of paper. We've searched back through your lives and looked for people that have meant something special to you. And there's a number of these people out here today. We're going to give you a chance to say hi to them. But we also really scoured all the old photographs, all the old memories, and see if we can bring anyone else here to say happy 40th anniversary. So I want to introduce a couple of these people here. Someone's describing what today's going to be like. I said, well, it's going to be laughter, tears, and beers. First, I'd like to introduce someone who's kind of a matriarch, Bob, in your family. Someone who really can tell more stories than almost anyone I know. I think there's his Aunt E.G. here.
Annie G.
Is everyone else on the list here? Thank you. He says, let's let Dennis make a fool out of himself right at the start. It'll get worse later. Well, let's think back. The year 1955, when you first lived in Tampa. When was that? 1956?
That's a good year.
Jane was 3. Some people that you knew, that you kind of lived with down here. Les and Coral Moore, are they here? Yes! They could tell stories that went on back in Tampa you wouldn't believe. Well, actually you would. You know both Bob and me. Let's go back, way back, 40 years ago. Monday. Well, that was like 1950? Now, look up here over your head. Do you recognize anyone in that picture? How about over here? Look at this one over here. You recognize anyone up there? We were trying to figure out who all these people were in the picture, and we couldn't quite figure it out. We're trying to figure out, like, who was your best man and maid of honor? What were their names? Ted and Alice Orchard? Do we have a Ted and Alice Orchard out there? Stood up with them 40 years ago. All the way from New York. Great. We're going to come up a few years now. We were looking at some of the old home videos and home movies the other night of the Ingraham family. And it seemed like all the Christmas pictures had the Ingrahams at the bushes. And the Vallejo family was always there. Well, we thought, geez, wouldn't it be nice if, you know, Skeet and Mildred now live down here? Wouldn't it be nice to get that same group of people who were at that Christmas party here today? Is any extra Vallejos out there?
I just saw you Memorial Day.
They don't look the same they did in those videos many years ago. Jack had more hair back then. We also went back and said, is there any other family members that we could get here today? We do have something for the heart later. It's called We went back and we said, one group that we figured could make it. It's a long way. In fact, that state is way out there in Oklahoma, I think it was. Was it like JoJo and John, Amber and Aaron? They just got there Thursday night. Long drive from Oklahoma.
This is great.
Well, Bob and Eva, that was all that I had on my list, but John wanted to say something to you.
Don't do that, Billy.
Come back up here now. Come back up. That was all I had, but John had one more thing that he wanted to say to you. After driving how many hours and not sleeping at all?
It was rough. We headed out from Oklahoma about 1 o'clock on Wednesday, and we finally made it here. But on the way, we just happened to go through Houston, Texas. And unfortunately, we picked up some hitchhikers by the name of the Coleys. Well, we can take it. Everybody can make it. So here we all are.
Can't believe it.
I think this is the first time that the whole Ingram family's been together in 7 or 8 years. We're going to turn the music back on. We'll let Bob and Eva mingle, grab a beer, get a hanky. Then we've got some other things planned later on. So let's have a big hand for the 40th anniversary.
Dennis asked me a little while ago, he said, you know, I'm going to ask you to come up front shortly, so think about what you're going to say. And he said, you remember the toast you gave 40 years ago? And I said, hell no. How would I remember that? I haven't got the slightest idea. But anyhow, I think this is a wonderful occasion. All I can say, basically, I'm not a long toast, but I certainly wish them everything, and hopefully they'll have another 40 years, and the best of health to both of you.
Yeah.
Hey, just as you did 40 years ago, I bet you can never guess who made this lovely cake. Mildred, yes. I played in a band many years with this man right here, and every time we got to this in a wedding reception, he sang this god-awful song. Luckily, they already had the check made out, and they were going to pay us anyway. But it always went something like this.
Oh, no.
Terrible. The bride cuts the cake, the bride cuts the cake. Hi-oh, the dairy-o, the bride cuts the cake. Now, you have to realize that when you're playing a job with Bob back a few years ago, he was already half whooped by the time we cut the cake. Well, then the verses got worse and worse as he kept singing. Now, he wouldn't just stop when they cut the cake. He had to keep up making new verses as it went on. And I'm not going to sing them here because I did not drink as much as he used to. He straightened up his act in recent years. I think both of you should maybe give each other a feed each other a little piece of cake.
Oh, no.
Yes. Now,
Nice, Bob.
let's be nice this time. Remember 40 years ago in your honeymoon when Eva said, "I remember the cake." Let's be nice at this time.
After that, though, we did think that she forgot the cake. She remembered other things.
The frosting was better later on.
What do you eat this with?
Your hands.
Let's take a little piece of cake and let's kind of feed each other this first piece of cake.
Did you wash your hands?
I think they're saying nasty things. I'm going to get over here so I don't hear them.
You know they don't want to face anybody.
You brush your teeth.
Smash it down. Smash it down.
Open mouth, insert foot.
Open up, here we go. little hanger up on the door and stuff like that, and cram a light bulb or something like that in the hoop. And I guess Dad had a rough morning one morning at Horton Hardware. Came home for lunch, he normally did. And I guess we were like in the third quarter. I was probably, hitting a 3-footer or something like that for the winning basket or something. Just walked in the door. And I guess we were a little bit too much energy in our systems that day. So there's a pair of size 12 boots, fireman boots in the closet, and Dad said, "Son, you got so damn much energy. Why don't you just put these boots on and go run around the house a few times to get some energy running out of you, Maybe your younger brothers and sisters won't, wreck up the house and stuff, and follow your lead and stuff like this. Get out there and run around while I'm eating my sandwich and stuff." I could have ran 10 miles that day. I wasn't going to stop. I was going to run as long as he was there. Run hard. I ran around the house about 30 times and, God damn, I know he's got to go back to work sometime. I guess I didn't know he had the afternoon off. I ran around that house for 2 days. But actually, though, Mom, Dad, I tell you what, I think you guys did a hell of a job on the family and stuff, raising us up. We're all here now, still here. Join.
I'll get through this. Anyway, these are a few things I remember about growing up. I remember the list of chores we were all assigned for after school, and the snacks listed, posted weekly on the cabinets. I remember singing as loud as we could on the bathtub, looking into the mirror in the bathroom and waiting. We were singing out of Wings Boy Scout books. Anyway, the singing went on for years because Judy and I get together once in a while. I can't do it. Anyway, we still do a lot of singing when we do dishes together. And these are some of the more serious things I remember. But I can't read because I got tears in my eyes. I remember arguing about window seats, even the front seat when we were going someplace. And we were always told, "This is the last damn time I'm taking you anywhere." One time, Wayne and I got caught stealing those blowing bubbles. And the only reason we needed another bottle was so one of my brothers could play with us. Anyway, we got caught. We won't say who caught us, but Bill, thanks. And Mom told us that if we wanted to be treated like criminals, then by God, you will. Our punishment was bed and bread and butter for supper. Bread and butter.
Well, we had butter on the bread. Of course, Wayne liked it an awful lot. I remember making the cheerleading squad in Afton and finding out we were moving to Florida. I was pretty damn mad at Mom and Dad. Anyways, now I thank them because I probably would still be in Afton with about 10 kids, no husband, and no job. I also remember the day I told Mom and Dad I decided to join the Army. I think they were more scared than I was. I came home about 3 weeks after I'd been to basic training for Christmas break. And they acted like I'd been gone for 2 years. I came home again between basic and advanced training, and Mom tried on all my hats and checked out all my new wardrobe. And Dad kept commenting on my personality and change of language. Oh yeah, of course fatherly advice was there too. This is one of them. If you save $100 a month for 4 years while you're in, you'll have a great savings start by the time you're out. Oh shit, Dad, I had no one else to spend that money on but myself. By God, I was going to. But I wish the hell I had now. And another good one that Dad was telling me about was, don't ever go out with only 2 of you girls. Make sure there's at least 3 of you. Remember this, Dad? Because
because one of them is bound to leave with a guy. Well, Christ, what the hell if I wanted to leave? He never did either.
A roast type atmosphere. I thought about what we could talk about. Thought about discipline, but that was always happening to Bill. Thought about the family trait of bullshitting, but that went to Bill too, so I think was not bad. The only thing I ever remember really happened to me was I got into trouble once, and I did have to read the Encyclopedia Britannica, but I think I'm a better person for it. With lack of a lot of things to say, I jotted down a few thoughts, which I had probably expected. This is just a little thing I put together. I like to call it "To Be in Ingram." Just something like this. To be in Ingram is not so bad. I've been one since I was a lad. To be in Ingram's not so bad. Something I'm proud of, more than just a tag. To be in Ingram's not so bad. It's something permanent, not just a fad. To be in Ingram's not so bad. It's not something you'll find in a newspaper head. To be in Ingram's not so bad. It's love and affection for when you're sad. To be in Ingram's not so bad. It's families like ours that others wish they had. To be in Ingram's not so bad. We have a lot of fun with each other. We rarely get mad. To be in Ingram's not so bad. We all have the same mother, conceived by one father's nads. To be in Ingram's not so bad. I can speak for those around you when I say I think we're glad. To be in Ingram's not so bad. Happy anniversary. We love you, Mom and Dad.
I guess this is the audience, isn't it?
Greatest gift. Does that mean I can't hear you?
I said, I think this is the greatest gift in the world, is all these people being here for our anniversary. It's just fantastic.
Not pleasure.
We really appreciate it.
Well, we put together thoughts and said, now what can you buy Mom and Eva for a 40th anniversary? And we know that the way the two of you are, it's like you sit home Saturday mornings, you say, let's go out and buy a boat. And then, like, they go out that afternoon, that night, they got a boat. Then 9 months later, say, let's get rid of this boat. We're not using this very much.
It says Bob as an employee and a friend. I first met Bob in the spring of 1959. That's a long time ago. As a struggling young electrician that was in business for himself. I wasn't that old either. I was building a house in Nineveh. After some dickering and knowing Bob needed to work, I got him to the bottom dollar and hired him to wire my house. He wired my two-bedroom house for complete service and all for $325. No wonder he went broke. Having purchased the Horton hardware store that same spring, I hired Bob to install new lighting in the store. This time, I was in a hurry to get it done and had no negotiating power, so needless to say, Bob soldered me for the job. However, I couldn't blame him, for after losing the apples, he made it up on the bananas. About 2 months later, one morning at 7 a.m., as I came out of the house to go to work, here says Bob in my driveway, an old blue pickup truck Bob drove. I went over to see what he wanted, and he said, I want to go to work for you. At that time, I had one employee and had 4 sales. 2 days stick in my mind. One was gross sales of $16. The other was $26. I told Bob there was no way I could hire him. But Bob, being the excellent salesman he always was, talked me into hiring him, and he started work that day. We started an electrical business, Bob being the electrician and did a super job. With Bob's good personality and salesmanship, mostly bullshit, we managed to make money. About a year later, we hired another mechanic, and the hardware business was growing. Quite rapidly, Bob suggested that we may be more valuable as a salesman in the store. After some thought, about 15 minutes, I decided it was a good idea. At that point, we got into the appliance business, and Bob and I spent many a night after the store closed selling about anything that there was to sell, including delivering appliances. I can remember one night delivering a refrigerator on the 3rd floor with nothing but an old cart and a rope. Anyway, as time went on, I hired more employees, and Bob, as store manager, did an excellent job making the business grow. At the time Bob left for Florida, I had 15 employees. Not bad for a population of 900 in Afton, New York. About 8 years later, one of the things I remember most is when Bob and I took our wives to Mason Inn for dinner one Saturday. They had a go-go girl dancing that night, and after Bob and I had a few Manhattans, I was 3, my butt. Bob called the girl over to our table.
Oh boy, here it comes. Sounds true. I'm like, wet.
And asked her to dance for us at the Afton Fair. We hustled merchandise at the fair that day. We hired her for $100 for the week, 6 nights. Bob having to wrote up a contract on a napkin. We advertised her as Go-Go Girl from New York City. She lived in Madisonville, population 100. Well, needless to say, Bob and I both almost got divorced over this deal, as our wives didn't appreciate it. But business was business. And there are still people talking about Horton Hardware and the Go-Go Girl at the fair. This happened in 1967. Recently, Bernie, Eva, Bob, and I went to Atlantic City to the casinos and had a super good time. Bernie and I, being the gamblers we were, converted Bob and Eva to gamblers instead of going to church on Sunday. In closing, Bob has been the best employee and friend I ever had. Signed, Charlie.
I was looking for the red jacket. I want to do a number. I tell you folks, y'all are just the greatest. And I really appreciate this. And I know Eva appreciates it. But I want to do something for her. A thing called Don't Blame Me. Don't blame me for falling in love with you. I'm under your spell. How can I help it? Don't blame me. Can't you see when you do the things that you do? If I can't conceal this thrill that I feel, don't blame me. I can't help it if that doggone moon above, well, it makes me need you, my love. I'm in love with you. Blame your kiss, as sweet as a kiss can be. Blame all the charms staying on my arms, but don't blame me. Play it.
Eva. Eva. Come up here for a minute. I think we ought to have the two of these people dance a little bit here. He said he wants to blow just one, and their name. I've heard that one before.
She took her coat off. It's getting a little bit hot.
Do we have any other dancers out there? I'm looking at you, Dick. Where's Shirley? We've got some other names here. Now, as usual,
Okay, now. Okay.
Hi. Mike, get out of there. Okay.
Give me a milk and make a good cake.
recording, everyone wave.
Okay, we're doing